All right. I want to talk to you today about something that used to plague me. It used to drive me absolutely bonkers. And it's probably driven you bonkers too at certain times. In fact, I think it's driven everybody bonkers at some point. But importantly, before I even tell you what it is, I want you to know that once I started training my attention through the very simple and basic practices of mindfulness, this issue just went away. And it almost never ever happens to me anymore. Literally, I mean, if it happens once in 3 or 4 months, it's a lot, okay? And when it does happen, the recovery is like that. What am I talking about? I'm talking about when we go into a room and we say, I don't remember what I was in here for. Can't remember, right? So as I say, this almost never happens to me anymore. And when it does happen, it's a matter of like 1,000, 1,000. Oh, it was my phone charger. That's right. Here it is. Right? Now, this seems like a very trivial sort of thing. Right? It seems like, okay, what's the big deal? Come on. It happens to everybody. Come on, Art. We joke about it. It's fun, right? And yeah, sure. When it's about the phone charger, yeah, no big deal, right? But the part, the sort of system that's at play when this happens, okay, or the system that's not that's not available to us so much when it happens, is called working memory. Now, the term memory is a little sketchy here. We're not talking about like short-term memory, okay? It's really, as I'm reading this wonderful book called Peak Mind by Dr. Amishi P. Jha, Jha. Really awesome book. Really delivers the neuroscience in a very relatable and wonderful way. And it's all about mindfulness and neuroscience as well. So highly recommend this book. Dr. Jha talks about working memory as, she describes it as a whiteboard, right? But a whiteboard where as soon as you write on it, the ink starts to fade and disappear. Right. And then as time goes on, because the working memory, we're talking about 5 seconds or something like that. Like it's very, very brief, which is why when you're in the kitchen, you say, oh, I have to go upstairs and get my phone charger. By the time you get up there, it took you 8 seconds. You don't remember what it is. Right? You've lost it. It's not because you don't remember. Pardon me. I know I just said you don't remember. It's not so much that you don't remember. It's that something else has now taken its place on your whiteboard. Okay. Now, the thing I want to be very, very clear about, okay, I do not live my life this way, and I do not expect you to live your life in a way that is like, okay, we think I need to get my phone charger upstairs from the kitchen, so I gotta, as I'm walking, I have to say, don't forget the charger, get the charger, get the phone charger, get the phone charger, get the phone charger, until you get there and you don't forget, right? I'm not suggesting that you should live that way, and I don't live that way, okay? That would be a very cumbersome and kind of unpleasant way to live our moment-by-moment experience, okay? And that's the beauty of what we're talking about here, okay? Because this working memory is actually part of the subsystem of attention. Okay? And so just like I talked about yesterday, and just like I talked about the day before, this is day 3 of our 30 days of benefits of mindfulness, by the way. Attention is something that we train, and it only takes, again, the latest science, who comes from this wonderful lady who wrote this wonderful book. Her and her team have discovered that really the 20 minutes a day that we used to think was the minimum time to like sort of make these changes in the brain is actually outdated, and it's only 12 minutes a day. Okay, so hey, Dr. Jha, yeah, right, 12 minutes a day, right? You have 12 minutes a day. I promise you, you have 12 minutes a day. And if you learn mindfulness the way that I teach it, you work with informal practices that don't even feel like 12 minutes. It feels like no minutes, basically. I can explain that some other time. But the point that I'm making is that you don't need to continuously, sort of remind yourself about the charger or whatever it is that you're going to another room to get. It's more about the working memory improves as a byproduct of attention training. Okay. Because what happens is, and again, it kind of relates to both yesterday and the day before, we recognize that, okay, my mind is wandering, but we don't recognize that even on a conscious level. It's more like, you just develop a natural and sort of automatic reflexive sort of strength that allows you to stay present and attending to what is happening right here, right now. I'm going to get my phone charger, right? And so when things come in and sort of, distract us, right? We find it easier and more sort of accessible to come back and just simply remember what it was. It's amazing. It really is amazing. Now, and I want you to really, really understand this, right? It has nothing to do with like, oh my gosh, don't forget the charger, don't forget the charger, don't forget the charger, right? That is not how we're suggesting that you want to live. I mean, no, that would be a very, there would be negative implications to living that way, right? And remember, as we've said the last couple of days, the mind is meant to wander. Attention is meant to be distracted, right? It's a question of training the mind and training the attention to come back more readily, more efficiently, with more strength, more powerfully. Okay? And you can do this too. Okay? Because again, I want to be very, very clear. A couple of years ago, I was the worst case scenario of this stuff. Literally, it used to happen to me several times a day. It's not because I'm less smart or not because I'm smarter now. It's not because I've read books. It's not because I've done. The only reason why this has changed is because I spend time every day training my attention. The training takes again, less than 12 minutes. And the way I do it, the way I teach it, doesn't even feel like 12 minutes. But it feels completely effortless at the same time. There's no strain or sweating or calluses or difficulty. In fact, the work itself feels really wonderful. All right, so that's your benefit number 3, is to be able to walk into a room and not forget what you came in there for. All right, hope you enjoyed today's video. I'll be back in tomorrow. Take care.